morning and welcome to my cavalcade of caffeine stars. I could have said celebrities, but there's no K sound in celebrities. My clever dripper came today, and let me show you what this is. It is so much fun. I've been wanting one for a while. It is an immersion brewer, whereas, you know, this is a pour over because you pour everything over and it goes straight through, goes through the filter, and you get the coffee at the bottom. Over here, this lets it sit in here with the hot water and the coffee, and then you put it down when it's done brewing. I mean, here's got a little, this is a little coaster that it sits on when it's brewing, and then it's got this fun little lid that's got these little, it kind of matches the design here where it's just goes on there like that. So you don't need the coaster. You can sit it on your countertop, but you know, it's got a little lip on it so it collects any kind of water that may have collected at the bottom after you've done your brewing. So I want to show this and show you how it works real quick. It is so much fun. It'll also give me a little bit of an opportunity to warm up the basket. We'll see how long it stays warm. It came with 100 paper filters, which I'm very happy about. I don't think I would have got it if it didn't come with the filters. I hate those kind of products that they're like, here's the device, good luck. So we'll give this a nice little bath here. I've already taken it out and washed it, so it is completely washed. While it sits there for a second and gets itself a little warmer, we can go over the features here. Proper quantities at brewing time, proper grind. See, it's a medium to coarse ground coffee, but with today's, we're going to do more of a medium fine in between espresso, closer to filter coffee, but a little bit finer than that. Then there's a proper temperature, which we always hit. I mean, my kettle goes to 200 degrees. That's where it kind of shows where the proper temperature is. There's cleaning, clever brewing body, a lid, a release ring, a silicone stopper, a silicone ring, and a coaster. So it's actually pretty cool. It's got an amazing, it says it right here. It's got a shut-off system. It's really, really fun. So let's go down lower here and I'll show you. How cool is that? Kind of suctioned itself on there a little bit. So the mechanism is down below here. This part actually moves, and when it's placed on the cup, it moves upwards, and the stopper down there in the bottom is released. So basically, as you can kind of see where it meets here, the stopper moves up, releasing all of the liquid that's in there and has been brewing for the past, I don't know, 4 minutes. It'll be a 4-minute to 5-minute brew this time. So, it lives up to its name. It's very clever. I've wanted one for quite a while, and I was able to get one. They're on Amazon. They're in several different colors. I wanted the smoky one that was clear, but the clear one actually looks very beautiful as far as plastic stuff goes. So what we're going to do, and it might be a little trickier than I had thought, what we're going to do is we're going to do a pour over and we're going to do an immersion that's cold. So we're going to do some cold coffee today, just like I tried to do yesterday and succeeded. We're going to try to do it in both of these, and I want to be able to taste the difference with the crimson. I'm hoping I can. If there even is one. There might not be. I might not be able to get it. But we'll give it a try anyway. So what we're going to start with is, because each of these are going to have 30 grams in them of coffee, I'm going to blitz up 60 grams of coffee, and then we will evenly distribute them via the magic of weight between the two devices. All right. Let's see if we got 60 left in here. I would assume so. Yeah, plenty. Like I said, it's such a good cup of coffee. I hate to waste it. Calm down. What's wrong with you? Zoomies plus scared to death. Plus zoomies plus scared to death. What are we doing? Are we arguing? Are we arguing with our minds? I assume we are arguing with our minds. She's very intently like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, no, you're not. Anyhow, because I'm going to run. Not because he can do anything about it, really, other than run. So we're going to try to do this as by the book as humanly possible. I am a human being, thus humanly possible. So like I had stated before, I have got this going at probably about a 15-16 slot on the Encore here. Going to be a medium fine. It's not going to be espresso fine, but it's not going to be so coarse as a pour over. I'm going to try to get them as equal as possible so that we can taste this and be more accurate in our judging. Not that I'm judging. That's really funny. It got so intense it started popping the lid off because it was grinding so much coffee all at once. It's very interesting. All right, so what we're going to do now is I've got 60 and some change in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to break that up with a 30 and a 30. So I'm going to pour 30 in here, and then I'm going to, we need to start the hot water, don't we? I cleaned the stove. We're going to put 30 in here. That's going to leave us 30 with this. What's nice about this immersion, in my head, it's like, say immersion blender. It's not a blender, it's a brewer. It's very close, but completely different. I'm going to put 30 in here. Let's see that you can kind of see how fine it is. It's not too fine. It's not a powder. It's not espresso, but there are also no large boulders. The big white pieces you see are the husk, and there's not a whole heck of a lot I can do about the husk being chunky. So let's get 30 grams in here. This is a little tedious because the powder either comes out too much or it comes out not enough. 30 grams. Beautiful. All right, so get a nice even bed distributed there. 30 grams. All right, we got 30 grams in our Chemex. We need to put, and this is where it's going to be a little weird. I did 250 grams of ice to 250 grams of boiling water yesterday. I felt that the ice may have been a little bit too much because it didn't melt very fast, so I had to add more hot water through the already used coffee bed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a 175 weight of ice, and then there'll be about 330 grams of water, kind of measuring that out. So I'm going to put ice in it, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until that's done boiling, and then we're going to go full tilt, full speed. But I will actually put one of these paper filters into the clear right now. it's such a fun and neat and different way of brewing. It's got these really fun little paper, very paper, very, very paper. And I think they do recommend that we wet this paper filter a little bit. So we are going to do that, at least to get it to adhere to the sides a little bit. Oh, actually, that opens up really well, but we'll get it warmed up anyway. Perfect. It's just a fun little device. And then it just sits right on here. And then, as you can see, the bottom of it comes right up. And then it's all kind of gravity. There's no springs in here, it's just gravity and pressure. And yeah, it just closes up the little stopper, and the little stopper is rubber. So it should last a little while, I'm hoping. We'll see. Both of this will probably be less than a 4-minute drawdown. This one, they say let brew because it'll sit there and brew. Let the immersion brew for 5 minutes, and then we'll put it into our glasses with ice, and I'll have it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a little awkward, and I'll tell you why. Because this is going into its own vessel. This, on the other hand, sits on top of whatever you're brewing into, and I honestly don't have, well, maybe I can. Hang on a second. I'll just use because I want to show the coffee going into the cup, because I think that that's a beautiful thing. So we'll use this to drink out of for this one. So we'll have our ice in here, which is 175 grams of ice is going to go in here, and then we're going to pour through 330 grams of water into this vessel with the 30 grams of coffee that's sitting right here, and we're going to see how that goes. Another thing, this is something I wanted to bring up as well. This is the AeroPress, which is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful device that I don't think is that expensive. I know that they've updated it, and I think that there are larger sizes now. I don't know much about them. I do know that this one is probably 10, 12, 13 years old at this point. I love it. I guess it's kind of up in the air for some people, whether this is immersion brewing or not, because you put the grounds in here, you got your paper filter, put grounds in here, you fill it full of water, and let it sit for like, 4 or 5 minutes. But the end result is basically you pushing this plunger down and pushing the water through the coffee, making it more of a pour over type, even though it is immersed and in there. It's weird. I don't question it. There's no reason to. I don't see any reason to question it at the moment. So basically, some people consider this an immersion brewer. Some of them consider it it's not a pour over, because there's a lot of pressure. Pour overs use gravity, whereas this uses your own pressure. So it's not an espresso machine. So it's a little all over the place, but it's it makes a great cup of coffee in the end. So I've still got 30 grams here. So I'll put it in there. But like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to put the water in here, and we're going to put, okay, since this is going to be brewing, we'll do this first. So we'll put our water in here. We're getting there. We're getting there. I thought I was going to need a fork, but I'll use a tablespoon to stir it around to get everything combined and whatnot. And then it'll sit for about 4 minutes with just hot water in it. I'll move it off of here, and then we'll do everything in the Chemex, and we'll start that. So the timer will be for this for about 4 to 5 minutes. And then this one, we'll do the drawdown. We'll do the swirl. We'll do the whole thingy dingy. I'm just excited. This is fun. I've never really done a side-by-side comparison before, and I think that this will be. And I think the Crimson, this wonderful Guatemala, this is from the Antigua region. This great light roast coffee will make a wonderful, flavorful, delicious set of iced coffee. I've also got my water here, so I can see if I can taste nuance, which I know I won't be able to do, but it's still fun to try. So all of the things that I said, I'll put up on the screen, because we're doing, normally it's a 50-50 ratio of ice and hot water. This time we're going to do 2/3 to 1/3. Is that what it is? Something like that? No. You know what? It's math. So it'll be 330 grams of hot water to 175 grams of ice. The ice will go into these vessels. The ice will go into this vessel, and then the ice will go into this vessel. So we'll be ready with that at that time. I'll use the lid to cover this up. 5-minute brew time on this. We're using 30 grams of coffee on either side. All right, we're around 200 here. Okay, we are ready to fly. So let's get our hot water in here first. And you'll see how neat it is, because it'll just sit right up in here. So what do I want? I want 330 grams of hot water here. And it's just gonna go $334. Okay, well, that should be all right. We'll be fine. All right, so we'll start with that. We will get our coffee going in here right now. Looks funny, doesn't it? Oh, I should have zeroed that out just to doubly make sure, but I think we'll be okay. So we're going to mix this around. Make sure everything gets nice and wet so that we can have a proper brew. I'm going to start the timer. We're going to let this go for about 5 minutes. And while this is doing its magic, got a wonderfully functional little handle there. It's certainly not going to catch 300 plus grams of water, but it'll certainly give me time if something were to happen to get it over to the sink. All right, your turn. And for this, I'm going to pull you out for a second. We'll put you right here. And then I'm going to go grab 175 grams of ice. Probably an ice cube. Maybe 2 ice cubes. I'm the only one drinking this, so. All right, oh, 173, very good. All right, so we'll put this back on here. So I have 173 grams. We're gonna take this and we're gonna go to 330. But it's only 10 o'clock. We'll do a little initial bloom phase here. We're gonna keep this by the book. So it's about 70 grams of water in there, making everything bloom up. We'll have that go for about 30 seconds. And because the timer is going, I'll estimate that a wee little bit. Let's go. 330. There's a lot more water than you expect, especially if you're sitting here trying to... 335. That seems pretty good. All right. I mean, it's a lot more hot water than we used yesterday, which makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna let this go. This is probably got another 2 minutes left. Ooh, it is going really fast though, isn't it? So we're still immersion brewing. Let's go down here and take a look and see how this looks. That is immersion brewing. Cool. Over here, we got ice melting. And our pot's empty up here. You know, it's still dripping. Let me still give it a little more time. If you feel like, and this is something that they mentioned, if you feel like you want to hurry this up, 4 minutes is fine, but 5 minutes is best. If you go for 6 minutes, it won't make any difference. But it's generally, past the 4 minute mark, everything works a lot better. All right, so we're gonna take this off. It has done everything it needs to do. I'm gonna take this off of here. And this is where it gets just a hair tricky as well. I'm gonna zero that out. I hope that that's big enough to handle all of that. Ooh, I'll bet I need a bigger carafe. 5 minute mark. Hang on. Okay, so we're adding ice. I'm gonna try it in this and we'll see how bad it gets. So we've gone to the 6 minute mark. All right, that's about the same amount of ice. So what we're gonna do now, I wish this would fit on that, but it doesn't fit. The lip is too wide. That would probably be all right. But this will be interesting. Okay, so this is cooling down. Give it a nice little swirl. And now for you, I'm gonna put you on here and then we're gonna watch it go. Does take a little while for everything to filter through. Actually, that probably would have been just fine to do it in that mug, now that I think about it. I'm gonna look up here at the top, and we're completely empty. Down here at the bottom, we've got a lot going on. Okay, so here's what we've got. This is our bed that's left. I've pulled this up off here. The stopper has come back up. I'm going to put it in the the sink for now. And this is actually going to be a pretty good distinction, I think. So over here we've got the clever. I'm giving it a stir in order to get all of those ice cubes all dissolved. And then I'm going to give this a stir over here and give it a chance to dissolve. The ice is dissolving much better with this ratio, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to take this out. It just comes right apart very easily. Everything comes right out. It's very thin, a lot thinner than these paper ones. I assume these paper ones would work just fine as well, but it'll be fine. All right, so I'm going to take this, give it a wash out while that's going. Whoop! My nun hat! Oh well. So it washes fairly clean, it would appear. That is a lot of fun. I'll put that on the coaster. Okay. All right, I think we're about where we need to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ice cubes in the bottom of each of these glasses. Now, as I said, this is the clever. And then this, of course, is our pour over. Let's get some ice cubes in here. Perfect. We'll do this here. Beautiful, nice and cold to the touch at the bottom. Glory, glory be. And then this one, also cold to the touch all the way through. We'll see how this pours. Not very well. You gotta give it a little bit more poop. There you go. A little bit more poop. Just a little more poop. That's all right. It's a kitchen. It'll clean up. That's how it works. All right, so what do we got here? We got our clever. Side-by-side comparisons. Yeah, I'd say those look about the same, wouldn't you? Yeah, those are the same looking. Very interesting. Yeah. Fun. All right, so let's do our tried and true first, the Chemex. All right, the audio's changed, and the picture's a little different due to the fact that the GoPro decided to overheat at the most important moment. I'm now using one hand, and it's not this one. So, let's take a look here and taste the Chemex. Yep. It's as delicious as it was yesterday. Great flavor. Not bitter, just a little acidic, but that's the light roast coming through. I like it. I like it a lot. So we're gonna take a swallow here out of Scotty. All right, that is cleansed. Let's see what the clever's done here. So once again, this is the clever. We're gonna see how this tastes. Nice and all the clarity and whatnot. It's interesting. A lot stronger flavor with the clever. Tastes a little bit. You can taste a lot more. Strangely enough, it's not as bitter. And like I said, this isn't really that bitter, other than the coffee flavor to begin with. It's not nearly as bitter. There's a lot more of a fruit kind of flavor coming out of it. Yeah, more of a fruit flavor. If I had a preference, it might be the Chemex, because the Chemex has just got a different flavor to it. I kind of like the little bit more bitterness to the coffee. It's a very interesting outcome. It tastes great. Both taste great. I'm excited to do the clever with just regular hot coffee, and we'll probably do that next week since it is Thursday, and I've got things that are happening this weekend. Actually, I'm actually doing things this weekend. What a surprise. But, let's conclude. Both of these taste great. I think this is an incredibly fun way to make coffee. A little clever dripper. The fun mechanism. Will it replace the pour over? I think it will be in addition to the pour over, just like it's in addition to the French press, just like it's in addition to the AeroPress. I think that we've got a wonderful team going on here, and really, unless something absolutely wacky and crazy decides to rear its ugly head, this is probably going to be our go-to setup for the foreseeable future. Awesome. I'm so glad I got this clever dripper. It is so much fun. I'm excited to use it from here on in, and it really makes a beautiful cup of coffee. That's the light roast. And there's the light roast. It's really very little, if any, difference visible here. It is fascinating and absolutely delicious. So the person that I was watching, they had mentioned how much they thought the clever dripper made a better cup of coffee for them. For me personally, I would say that I enjoyed the Chemex cold brew a lot more. And you know, this brewed for a lot longer. This one probably went 6 minutes while I was fussing with the GoPro. And then this one was about a 4-minute drawdown. And then all the ice in the bottom kind of melted in its own time. Didn't take very long. So yeah, I mean, they're both delicious, but I think I like the Chemex one more. There's just more of a coffee flavor that I look for when it comes to coffee. And over here, it was just, I don't know, it's really hard to tack down. I guess in some ways I'm kind of disappointed because I don't really know that, I can't really taste the difference in the right places. But as just a consumer, as someone who does this as a hobby, not as a business, I really think I enjoy the Chemex cold coffee version of this more. We'll get more into this next week. We'll do some hot coffee in there. Only holds maybe about 350 grams of water, which is, you know, more than enough for 2 cups of coffee, really. I mean, look what I've got here. I mean, that's what's left. So there's plenty of coffee. 2 cups of coffee right there. So we'll do it with a hot next week. But thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry for the camera change, but it's like, you know, we're doing an experiment here. At least I am. Thank you, camera, for, you know, deciding at the 25-minute mark to overheat. Oh well. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.